With the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros. Learn something.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 3 of the MP Bros, a podcast where we focus on mortgage protection and selling tips, tricks, advice, things that we wish we wouldn't have done, and we want to help you learn so you don't do that. So, as you guys know, my partner in crime, Mr. Michael Waranch, he is not able to be here today, but I made sure I have big shoes to fill with those. I made sure they were filled in properly with the one and only Mr. Bradley Inman. Brad, what's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Glad to be here. I'm no Mike Waranch, but I'm glad you searched around and could find another white bald guy to join your party. So
that's definitely one of the requirements. It might have been met, so the next guests don't have to have that. That'd be awkward if I just keep having bald people in. Dude, so I've been trying to get you on camera for a little while, and I've sold you out probably one too many times on my side of things, which I'm horrible at that. Just get slammed. But you've been extremely helpful to me personally here. So I want to say thank you to that first and foremost, because you seriously do it out of the kindness of your heart for many of the team members. We have an amazing culture. We have an amazing team. And there is obviously the company-wide culture, which we mimic down here, but we also set in our own flavor, right? And we have the Hughes photo group, and then we all kind of follow along with it. And I believe you and I are both directly under Chris. I believe Mike is also too, so all of our team, we get to do all these Zoom calls, we get to do this WhatsApps, and that's where we stay in touch. And you've just been very active on that. And I think that you helping us and everybody else has also helped you. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. And dude, I appreciate you asking me to do this with you. I love interacting with you, hanging out with you. You're just an absolute great guy to be around. So the energy that you bring to the team is fantastic. So appreciate you in a big way. Appreciate you asking me to have this conversation with you. And yeah, I think the nature of telesales was something that I really had to get used to. And before we had a team Zoom room, not gonna lie, even though we have at the deal that we're at, we've got daily trainings and you see people, but it's different than actually interacting with people who you work with. So this thing telesales was lonely. You're just
right.
Yeah, you're just in your room, whatever that is for you.
You got a basement, don't you?
And you're just talking to people, and you might have somebody you work with, like Chris may call me from time to time, or I may have an agent that I call from time to time. And that team Zoom really revolutionized, in my opinion, what we do. Because it's not just a place where people can come and get help, which they do. It's not just a place where you can listen to other people who may be performing at a top level, which you can. But it really added a culture of really just teamwork. And these are the people that we work with. And you start to get to know people. You start to learn about their kids, or you start to learn about what's going on in their life, and be able to even share what's going on with yours, or just in between appointments, checking in on people. And the constant interaction took this thing from feeling like, all right, well, I guess I just work by myself for myself, to there's a group of people that we work together. And so that aspect of it, I love. And, right when I started, people just wanted to hear somebody run an appointment. So, obviously I mute out for sensitive information. You can't
You do a great job at that.
yeah, you can't, like have somebody giving out all their personal stuff on Zoom. So it's nothing like that.
Mhm.
But just how the sales presentation goes, if, people want to hear how the tone, the pace,
Yeah.
some of the jokes, I've been happy to do that. And honestly, man, I wish, I know we've got some other people in the team that do it. And, I wish more people that were top producers would do it. Cause I don't mind doing it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got a flavor and I'm not the only flavor in the gumbo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I would love to hear some other folks doing it from time to time too. I've heard you do it. I know you're quick to unmute while you're booking appointments or running stuff. So
I like it. I think it's so beneficial for so many different ways. One, we're constantly growing. I want to address a couple of things. One, first, the not alone, you're part of a team, that culture. At the end of the day, no matter what, this is telesales, right? And with telesales, you are going to be sitting down, you're going to be using your cell phone, you're going to be using your whatever phone type you're using, and you're going to have your sheets. And it's going to be up to you to either dive into the culture and get yourself out of your comfort zone and allow yourself to be around other people that are going to help you grow. But there's nobody that's going to be able to force you to do that.
Right.
I'm bringing on new agents, right? Like they're starting to come in a lot. And the one thing I tell them, like, listen, you're not going to succeed doing this alone. That's the bottom line. And as much as I want you to reach out to me all the time, and as hopeful as I will be, and I will always respond to you, if I'm in the middle of a call, I'm focusing on that. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to give it my full focus. And so you might need an answer right away. And that's why we have a WhatsApp group with like 70 something people in it. We have a Zoom room that usually has like 20 something, 30 something people on it. And I want to keep those numbers growing. But if you're not in there, if you're not putting yourself out, if you're not seeking out additional information, if you're not seeking out, it is going to feel very lonely. Like you can go back and watch all the videos, and dude, the videos are great, right? Like all this content that we're putting together is just an extra layer. This is just like the little salt on top, right? Because we have so much substance that's provided from Brandon, from Pete, and from so many of the agency owners and so many of the top producers that are just giving it during the 1 o'clock. But this is available for anyone to see. I don't care if you're with Unitrust or if you're not with Unitrust. I want everyone to be able to enjoy and learn a little bit of how we do telesales and why we do it. And so, yeah, it could feel.
I think it all boils down to support. Yeah. So if you're somebody who is like producing at a high level, well, if you're in there are people who could use support and you can help them. Yeah. And if you're new, man, whether it was when I first got into the field and we were driving all over Kingdom Come, the only thing you had was you would be in a home and you would have to like call somebody and be like, hey, Chris, hey, what do I do about diabetes? But now you could, the level of support that a brand new agent can get just in the moment, immediate, by taking advantage of those tools, second to none.
And just like you said, just remember you being a new agent, the nerve, feels, the butterflies, the people you had to call out, right? The more that we give, I'm all about this universe, the spirits, everything out there, right? The more that we give, the more that we get. The more good we do, the more good that comes back to us.
100%.
Big believer on that. So I want to make sure that I pass on as much good as possible. You talk about us being alone. Dude, I'm telling you, like, when I don't see my wife all day and then like the kids come home and I'm just like, what are you guys doing? How was your day? Here's another human being. Let me hug you. Let me hold you. Let me talk to you. What's been going on? Like, give me more. They're just like, oh my God, Dad, it's whatever. I just went to school. Or, I talked to this people. I'm like, what was that? Just because I miss that human interaction. I need it. Like, me, I'm super outgoing. I love people. I love impacting and talking to people. So it's great for me to be able to just reach like this. So yeah, man. Hey, one thing I didn't get to start with is kind of just asking a little bit about you, because I mean, everyone ends up here, but nobody, unless their parents did it, nobody says, hey, I'm going to be a mortgage protection life insurance agent when I grow up. And if there is that person out there, contact me. I got to meet you. I'm going to get you on this podcast just to hear your story. But tell me, brother, how did you end up here?
Yeah, that's a good story, and appreciate you asking. So my background was
dancer.
I got a degree in business.
Okay.
I thought I wanted to be in radio, which actually ended up working out for me as far as like the education is concerned, because it taught me a lot about speaking. So public speaking,
you're
tonality, pace, volume.
Beautiful. Look at that. That makes sense.
Storytelling. And then when I found out what the average salary for a radio employee was, I was like, maybe I should focus on something different. So
yeah,
I switched and went the business route. So when I did that, I went to work for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, worked my way up, was really successful, just because I'm a people person. I love helping people. And really all it is they teach you how to run a business. And so if you're good at it and you just follow the program and you're good with people, it was a great company to learn how to run a business, how to work with people, how to manage employees, how to set expectations.
Nothing but great things about Enterprise and like their manager training.
Yeah, it's excellent training. It's excellent training. It was a lot of really hard work. I mean,
but it's peanuts, so you get paid.
No, the pay was great.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah, the pay was great if you operated your business in a good way and was successful. And so essentially, what I was doing when I was there is I would go to a location, pretty much assess what needed to happen in order for it to be more profitable.
Cool.
And then put a plan in place to do that. And that meant managing people. That meant going out and getting new business. But it was a lot of work. And so my wife Jessica and I had just gotten married, and I kind of took a look around, and most of the people in the positions that I was working hard to get to, none of them really seemed like happy people. They had great money, but none of them seemed like they were happy. And right at that time, the church that we were attending, the pastor said, hey, look, we're not going to be able to pay you 6 figures, so don't even dream of that. But we need somebody who knows how to run a business. Help us do that at the church. And so we thought about it, prayed about it, talked about it, fought about it a lot. And I went and started working for the church. And
so you left Enterprise completely to come do this, not pro bono, but you took a huge pay cut.
Huge pay cut, yeah. And it shocked everyone. Because it wasn't like I wasn't doing well. I was doing really well. I was overseeing multiple locations. Everything was.
They just didn't see it coming, huh? Wow.
Yeah, just they didn't see it coming. But I don't burn bridges, so we all left on good terms. And then I worked for the church for years. And my brother, which everybody knows is Grayson, but I've called him by his middle name my entire life. So if I slip up and say Brent, that's because for the first however many years of his life, that's all we knew.
I never knew that.
Yep. So him and his wife were in Spain, and they wanted to move back to the U.S. And he was like, "Man, I gotta get a job." And I was like, "Oh, I could get you a job at Enterprise, easy. I just pick up the phone, make a couple phone calls." So got him a job there. Just it didn't work out great for him, and so I remember it was Christmas time. We were at my mom's house in Birmingham, and I think they had just bought their house. I want to say his wife might have been pregnant at the time, and they had a dog, and dude just lost his job at Enterprise and is feverishly trying to find a thing. And I remember him coming to me, and he's like, I found it. I found the thing that's going to fix everything. And I'm like, cool, what? And he told me about it, and I was like,
Life insurance sales.
No, not that. I mean, it just smacked of
You
like,
were that person. You were that family member.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was just like, do not do this.
I was like, do not do this, dude. You
Wow.
need a W-2. Don't do commission only. And it smells like an MLM. Like, just come on, bro, don't do it.
You know,
But he did it anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he did.
Against your
Because
better
at our old deal, you know, he turned into one of the top producers. You know, I watched him, like, you know, buy cars for cash and pay off his home. And our situation right at that time, we were in the process of adopting our daughter.
Cool.
And you know how things go. You know, expenses never go down, especially when you add a small human into the mix, right? You got diapers, you got formula, and the stuff with the church wasn't it wasn't going up. And, you know, I swallowed, you know, my pride and reached out to my brother and just said, you know, hey man, tell me more about what you're doing. And then help me understand if I could do it while I work at the church and be profitable. And he was like, dude, if I can do this. And he was like, and half the people that are doing this thing with me, he was like, they're not people. You've been successful in business. You care about people. And he was like, and honestly, this business is really just all about caring about people, but just in a different way.
I love that he explained it like that.
I don't think he explained it like that. I think that's
what you got out of it.
That's what I got out of it.
He told you how many people you can help, and you're like, all right, I'm helping people.
Well, he was just like, look, if you could be successful he was like, he told me, he's like, I don't think everybody can do it. He was like, but I think you could do it. And so what I did is I just picked a couple days out of the week, and you know how it started, like running Facebook internet leads. Ooh, I got PTSD just thinking about that season of life. And then I transitioned into mortgage protection.
Yeah. And
it was great. I mean, working a couple days a week. I want to say my close ratio, if I sat with somebody, was in the high 90s.
Wow.
I was good at it. Just because I'm pretty high relational. And, you know, whether it's working for the church or helping someone with like a life insurance product that's going to protect their family, it's all caring for people. Just in one way, it's in like a more financial sense, and the other way, it's like a more spiritual sense. So for me, they went really well together. And then my brother disappeared. Just one day, poof, out of the blue. One day,
What do you mean? As he was transitioning out to come here?
Yeah. So
okay, got it.
Yeah. So he connected.
So there was no communication with you, his own brother.
Not at first.
Hey, you know.
Yeah, not at first. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Ironically, we were back at my mom's house. We're here in Metro Atlanta. My mom at the time stayed in Birmingham. So me and the wife and the kids went over to Birmingham to visit my mom, and my brother called. And at the time, and you probably know this, when we first started doing mortgage protection, it was like you had to get on a waiting list to get leads in a certain area. And then if somebody quit or I don't know, retired, then you could get that county. We were paying like $100 a lead or more.
Right.
Like the company was making a profit on selling leads to us, and then you were driving all over Kingdom Come. So it was just
madness.
It was hard to be profitable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you loved it, right?
But I loved it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Leads were expensive. They weren't as expensive when I was doing it, and I was driving an hour south, an hour north. That was like my territory, right? But I loved it. And you know, on today I'm gonna be going north. Today I'm gonna stay around my house, and I'm going south. And I just wanted to sit. I just wanted to sit with people. Let me just talk to you, help you understand this. We're gonna be here for an hour and a half, but we're gonna have you covered and protected and cared for. And that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah. So my brother called and was just like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I left and went someplace else. You have to come over here. It's crazy.
Just like that.
Just like that. And he explained all of the things, the leads, how they work, how many you can get, what they cost, the fact
And
that it's
had you started doing telesales already, or you were just still in the field?
no. So,
Okay.
and that was the biggest transition for me. I know my brother had already been doing telesales. So it was a very smooth transition for him. He came in and started banging out, 50, 60, 70, 80. I don't even know what he did, but it was bonkers.
For
The
real?
amount of,
Grayson was killing it like that?
yeah, the amount of insurance that he could write when he was just doing it himself. And I think he just wanted to see if it worked.
Uh-huh.
And once he did for like a month or so, he reached out to Chris, he reached out to me. And then that's when our entire group just said,
let's go.
Yeah. And to be clear, like if it was just the leads, I would have been like, yes. But the culture, the technology,
The structure,
the support, the structure, everything that they put in place to prevent all of the things we had to experience. So like fraudulent agents, bad debt rolling up to you, fighting hand and nail with other agents for the same lead.
Same area,
leads being resold to the other people. It's just like
I can't tell you the amount of times I went to an appointment and there was another agent sitting down.
Yeah. You'd pull up and there'd be like another guy inside, and then you'd have to be like, do we do this together, or we when you're finished with him, do you want to just text me and I'll come in?
Yeah. I've sat in places like and just watched people do it and kind of just shaking my head, like, really? That's no, go ahead and finish, buddy. Just let you know you're not gonna write this policy, but hey. But yeah, it's insane, right? And just the culture shift and the change, and that's what I love about this place. It's how easy it is to want to do this, right? Like you're seeing all these people doing it, and there's a lot of submit numbers, and submit numbers don't mean anything. However, what's cool about looking at our submit numbers is that we know that company-wide, our placement is high. So you're seeing submit numbers, but or if you don't know, you should know that the company's placement is they strive for a 90%. So although you're seeing submit numbers, you can also click and see issue paid, and it's there, right? And everyone is doing exactly the same thing. The way that I learned, one person would say this, the other person would say that, this person would run their business this way, this other person would do it this way. And you just really want to soak it up and take what you can, leave what you don't like, and find a way to make yourself as good as possible, right? With the way that we do it, it's just like, hey, put your own flavor into it, but don't you deviate from this too much, because if you do, that's going to be the easiest way to fail, right? And I said in the training yesterday, I'm saying it again today, we stick to what we do because it works, man. I wrote down something here that you said, and there's two things I want to touch on kind of quickly. You said not everyone can do this, right? Why do you think you can say that not everyone can do this, and just be real with people?
Yeah, because where we came from before, the pitch was like anybody can do this. Yeah. And the reality is, I don't think anybody can, because it isn't complicated work. It isn't really difficult. All you do is plug into the system, follow all of the training, follow the guide. It's very duplicatable. It's very replicatable. But you're your own boss, number one. And people struggle with that, I think. So you have to be very disciplined. So people confuse, I think, motivation and aspiration. They think if they're a motivated individual, then they're going to be really successful in business. But the reality of the situation is it can get very emotional. So if you have a really, really good day, you can think, oh man, I'm the best at this. And you'll be up high on the roller coaster. And then you could have a really bad week, and then you just want to quit. Whereas the individual who's disciplined knows that just the data, if you track your numbers, if you know that over time, you run 50 appointments a week, you run 200 appointments a month, if that's your goal, you could have a bad day, like I had Monday and Wednesday.
You can have a bad week.
You can have a bad week.
Say it together. but you'll
You're not going to
month,
have a
but
bad
you'll
month.
never have a. How we're
Yeah.
supposed to say it together?
I don't
Okay.
know. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was what we were doing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And there's two things about it. So I'm gonna argue your point a little bit, but I'm gonna point something out that had me and Brad laughing just a couple of days or weeks ago. He's on he's on the Zoom just training and talking to a new agent, and he's just talking about like how calm he is as he goes through it. How nothing really rattles him when he's gets an objection. He's at his pace. Brad is one thing for sure, always just in control, cool as the other side of the other side of the pillow, just has control. As you guys can tell, I am full of energy. I am full of passion. I am full of emotion. I'm complete opposite of that. So that other agent, I'm just like, wait a second, just so you know, every single day is an absolute roller coaster for me. I'm stoked when I write 10 policies. I'm pissed off when I don't write any policies. And that's how I like to operate because that keeps me moving and that keeps me thriving to get more. Yesterday was 5K. Yeah. 5K. That's awesome. Day before, it was like 1. Oh man, this business sucks. Today, it's going to be a great day. I know it. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be blessed and we're going to write so many business. And now I go through that roller coaster, which can't be good for my health. And your way is definitely better. But I know that my passion over there propels me to be able to want to be able to help us more people. Right?
So let me clarify.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say that motivation or passion isn't important. Your motivation for helping people, your motivation to your why, your reason for whether it's your kids or your family, or just you want to make sure that God forbid something happens to somebody, it's not going to put their family in a situation where they got to turn to GoFundMe in order to just survive. Those things are very important. But what I found is what makes this business hard is that you can have all of those things, but if you're not consistent and disciplined, then those things disappear from time to time. And when they disappear and you don't feel like doing it,
yes,
then that's when you don't get up when you were supposed to get up. That's when you don't buy leads when you were supposed to buy leads. That's when you just decide, you know what, I've helped 5 families. I'm just going to reschedule these last 3 appointments because it's all based on how you feel versus just you made a promise and you like to keep your word.
Yeah. So one of the best things that I learned in this industry is honestly have that calendar ready. Know where you're supposed to be and at what time. And if you're going to take some time off, have that time off be predetermined so that you're fitting it in. You're still not neglecting your family. You're still doing things. Hell, if you don't want to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, don't. But you better make sure that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is as productive and as action-packed as possible. And if you don't meet your goals, if you don't meet it, then you get to work on Friday or work on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Brad said, at the end of the day, not a bad day. You might have a bad day, bad week, but never a bad month as long as you do what you're supposed to do. So you said not everyone can do it. And here's where I disagree with that. I do think that everyone can do it. However, for some, it's going to be easier. And for some others, it's going to take that much more work, right? Like, think of it at the gym. You could be that super skinny kid or that guy that's just maybe way too obese, and it's going to just take that much more emphasis and focus and work for them to be able to get to that ultimate physique, as if you're somebody that's just always been athletic and you want to go to the gym and it just comes naturally to you. Anyone can do it. It's just about the amount of effort that you're willing to put into it. And that's the only thing that's going to determine the difference, right? Just because you come over here and you suck for the first month, it doesn't mean that you're going to suck by the end of the year. Give it, if you truly want it, give it your best shot. But don't be that person that will walk into the same wall 10 times before realizing there's a wall there. Let me get around it. Learn from Brad, learn from me, learn from Mike, learn from Brandon, learn from every single amazing individual that we have working for us that has already walked right into that wall 10 times themselves. And they're going to tell you, hey, bro, there's a wall right there. Don't run into it. Boom, boom. It's so important to be able to do that. So yeah, man.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate here with you, because yeah, sure, anybody could. if they follow the system, if they had the structure, if they had the discipline. Where I think not everybody can is because there are people who are willing to kind of put their ego aside and ask for help. And then when they get that help, apply it. And those are the people who are successful. The people who won't do that or can't do it for whatever reason, because it's eating humble pie is hard, I think, for just about anybody. But there are people who are just not willing to do it, or for whatever reason, they won't apply the thing. And they'll, like you said, they'll just keep hitting that same wall over and over again. And unless they change, then they become the people that I think, well, that's the reason why not everybody can do it.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, dude. It's honestly as simple as that, right? What do you want? How hard do you want it? And what are you going to do to be able to get there? Yeah, some people might not have the finances to be able to buy leads. Okay. So you're going to have to buy the cheaper leads, and you're going to have to work that much harder at them, right? But it's discipline. I had an agent that came in, and bright guy, man. Just he had everything. Came in his first week, wrote 2 policies, started feeling really confident. He stopped attending the trainings. He was not in the Zoom calls. He wasn't asking questions. One of those fell apart, and just his mind started going the wrong way. And as much as you wanted to say, hey, man, get back in it, like plug in, ask for help, talk to somebody else, the wall was up, you know? And so he had all these reasons why it wasn't going to work for him instead of all the reasons on why to find a way to make it work for him.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's funny that you mentioned that. We used to call them secret agents. I have 1 or 2 of them that just pop up. You're like, you sold a policy. Did you buy a but where are you?
Where have you been? Yeah.
Where have you been? Secret agent. And I think that's, you brought up a piece that I think is another thing that keeps not everybody from being able to do this. And that is the people who, when they encounter a situation or a problem or something's not going the way they want it to, there are people who will look inward and go, okay, what am I doing? Like, what do I need to change? Like, what could I be doing better? Or and then there are people who look externally and just blame the things around them, which the reality of the situation is there could be things going on that are outside of your control. But if you're always looking to blame the things around you or your circumstances versus like, what could you be doing to change that situation? I think that stops people too.
You know, Brad, I feel like at times I might be that person outside of here. You know, oh, how come you didn't do this? Clean the backyard. Oh, man, this happened. And, you know, I twisted my ankle going down the stairs and my dog jumped on me and whatever. But when it comes to business, you can't have that. You know, it's not going to work. And that's just the bottom line. At the end of the day, although we're working part of Unitrust, although we're selling their leads, although we're offering mortgage protection by whatever insurance company, this is your business. You're going to be 1099. You're going to pay directly from the carriers. You're going to invest into your own leads. You're going to fuel your own fire. And if you don't apply everything possible, and this is the best thing, if you don't work harder for yourself than you've worked for somebody else ever, you're going to fail. If you come in here and say, hey, I'm going to take 12 weeks off a year because I'm my own boss, I mean, maybe you'll be able to, but maybe you won't, right? So it's that important to be able to be disciplined. That's the bottom line, right? And tell me, let's go into like, what do you think is the easiest thing for people to make that mistake in that will just straight lead them to failure?
Yeah, it's really just those things, I think, that we've pretty much already discussed. It's, you know, being humble, being disciplined, asking for help, showing up, whether it's, you know, daily trainings or the team Zoom. And then, you know, once you get help, applying it, and then consistently looking for ways to improve.
So I'll jump in. I think the biggest problem is not believing in yourself.
Mhm.
And with not believing in yourself, not willing to invest in yourself. Like, oof, $300. I'm gonna spend $300 on leads. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. Average ratio, Brad told me, average ratio 5-1, completely done. I was at the training in Jacksonville, sitting down with Pete himself, and he told me our ratio right now for the company it's 7-1. That means for every $1,000, you're gonna write or submit $7,000 worth of business. If you write $10,000 for the month, just the numbers, depending on what contract level you are at, they're going to give you 75% in advance, right? So if you're paying one or call it $1,500 to make $10,000, you're making 7,500. You're subtracting that. You're going to be in the positive, even if it's half of that for you because your contract level is lower. As long as you follow the system, you put in the effort, you're going to be profitable, right? And the more profitable you are, the faster your compensation. Oh, that's another thing, dude. I love how things are structured here, right? Just like we honestly allow any agent to come in, but it's important they know what their starting spot is going to be, right? And they're going to be able to work their way up. But what's cool about it is that as they're working their way up, right? People come in at a 70%. That's the starting rate. No one's going to come in any lower than that. 70 is where you come in. Why is that? Because the moment you write your first 5,000, you submit your first 5,000 in business, the very next month, you're already at 75. You write 7,500 the next month, you're already at 80. You write 10,000 the following month, you're at 85. It's so clearly laid out that I've heard horror stories of other shops, right? That it's based on the upline. Maybe if you give me a couple more months, or you know what? First, you need to hire 31 people before I can go ahead and give you that promotion, right? It's not none of that. It's a clear path. Either you're gonna produce, and if you produce, this is where you're gonna go, or if you're gonna build, this is where it's gonna go. Whichever route you take, it's okay. I didn't want to build, man. I did not want to do this again. I have built in the past. I've had a good, solid team. We're doing about 260,000 on a monthly basis. It was great, and I left it all because of the way things were going. I was not happy about it. I just dropped it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna produce because I'm a great salesperson, and as long as I do this, I'm gonna be okay. But I came here, and I just saw the difference, and I saw the path, and I saw how well protected it is, and now I want to share. I want to yell it and say, hey guys, here's what I did. Here's where I'm at, and here's how amazing this place is. Come find out for yourself. Come join me. So if you hear me out there, you see Brad's email right there, wherever it is. You see my email over here. Hit us up, man. Nothing but honesty from both of us. No one's trying to, make money off you. What makes us happy is for you to make money, because as you grow, we all grow together, right? You were saying,
I think the fact that Pete and Brandon had really good experiences in places that they went, and then they saw some things that they didn't like, and how they created this to keep all of the things and business practices and structures and things that they loved about the business, and then to really sit down and say, well, let's leave the stuff that we didn't like behind, and then just heavily invest to create the things that they wished existed for agents and agencies and technology and just all of the things that we have the benefit of. But one of the things that is so refreshing is just what you mentioned, that transparency. The transparency of whether that's, how you get promoted, commission, teams. It's all very clear and laid out. You can look at it if you want. And then that helps you as a new agent or as someone who wants to build a bigger business with an agency to really to know what are you shooting for next, right? So like, I know what I'm shooting for. I've got it right in front of me.
Good. That's
so
awesome.
and I just know.
Share. Let's go ahead. You know what? Let's do a quick here. Quick interview on Brad. Brad, what has been your best month at Unified Financial?
Best month at Unitrust. Honestly, I don't know. I'm pretty steady Eddie.
And you
So
track your numbers all the time. So I don't believe you. I know you know
yeah, it's between 30 and 40 every single month.
every single month.
Every single month. I think my best
30 and
week,
40.
I think my best week that I had was close to like a 20K week. And, you
Nice.
know, my placement persistency are both high 90s. And I'm really just 1 or 2 months away from qualifying for the last promotion you can get as an individual producer. So that's what I'm personally kind of shooting for. And now that I have a recruiter working for me, I used to do all the interviews, and I realized that it was going to be more profitable for the business for me to take that small period of time that I had to run business if I needed to, and then have the recruiter recruit people and then just start bringing them on. So obviously building a big team is something I'd love to do. Because of the church work that I do, I can't really be loud on social media about insurance because that would kind of be weird.
Sure.
So you're
Okay.
not going to see me if you go and look at Facebook and Facebook stalk me. You're probably just going to see my wife tagging me in family pictures and fun things that we've done for like 2 years. So I'm not super active on social media.
Are you like the main pastor at your church? One of
Yeah.
the pastors? Are you like you're up on stage? You're preaching sermons
Yeah,
every.
I'm on the floor with the people, not on top of stage. But yeah, it's a fairly small church, but I'm the lead
Okay.
pastor.
That's
So
awesome, bro.
I've been that for, oh goodness, since before COVID. So maybe 2018, 2019.
Listen to this though. You are the leading pastor of a church, whether big or small, but you still manage to do 40, 30,000 every single month, dude. I'm thinking right now of all the people that just get in their own way and find those excuses, right? But for those same people that maybe are working part-time jobs and trying to figure it out and what else can I do? Where a $5,000 increase would just rock their world, you know? An
Yeah,
extra 5,000, extra 3,000 a month. It's a mind shift.
it's funny. It messes people up. Like we led a company-wide training yesterday, and I hadn't really talked to one of the guys that is a different agency owner in a different team. And when people find out that for the vast majority of the year last year, I only did this like 2.5 days a week, maybe 2 days a week, it rattles them.
Yeah. That was a great call, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But you know, I just know I got to put the structure in place that if I've only got 2.5, 3 days to do this, I'm gonna pack it on those days. So
And that's it.
it just
That's
helps
it,
me
bro.
hit the goal.
Our boy Mike, right, who's top producer, he's there. He's number 2 in the company behind Brandon Hall, who produces millions every year. But he knows that he has his goals that he wants to hit, and he sets 20 appointments every day. Imagine if out of 20 appointments, 5 don't show up, but you get to pitch 15. And out of those 15, you have a 30% closing ratio. So you're closing 5. If your average, it's about $1,000 per close, that's about $5,000 per day. You're working 5 or 6 days a week. There's your $25,000. There's your $100,000 a month. That's more money than people making a year.
Yep.
Working for somebody else in their full time because they're just diving so hard into it. And if you dive that hard into it, like scheduling appointments is not hard. Maybe investing into that amount of leads at first might be a little bit hard, but you can work your way up to that, right? But if you take that approach and you go that hard into it, dude, sky's the limit. You know, you might be outpacing the money that you've made as a W-2 employee somewhere else. It's crazy to think and say numbers like $200,000 a year net, $300,000 a year net. You know, agency owners, $600,000 a year net, and that we all can get there. Degree, no degree, born in the U.S., not born in the U.S. You know, young, old. It doesn't matter. It's just what are you going to do to take your effort and get yourself to that level, man? But hey, we've been at it for a little while. I'm so thankful again for you to be here. If you wanted to leave off here with anything, just go ahead and drop a little extra knowledge or just something else you'd like to pass on. Please do so now.
Yeah, I would just love to give my condolences to Mike, because I think he's still hurt for the time that I basically roasted him with a dad joke on live training in front of everybody. So Mike, if you're still mad about that, I'd like to offer my sincere apologies. I'm a big dad joke fan. So yeah, I think just this thing can be fun.
Yeah.
It can be hard, but it can be fun. And I think that being in this together with other people and just having the opportunity to do what we do and just care for the people around you, whether it's on our team or not, it's really a noble thing that we do. And I really don't want to take that for granted ever. And the fact that, like you said, we could have people from all over the country, different backgrounds, different stages of life, ages, ethnicity, religion, and we're all just not only trying to put our families in a better situation, but just caring for other people. There are probably some people who have some just like, I want to wear Rolexes and drive Lamborghinis, but I would say the vast majority of everybody that I've talked to in our deal, in our specific team, in the company, they really just want to help other people. And I love that,
man. Yeah. That's it. I am now in the spot, in the place, or in the spot, or in the mindset where I not only want to help families, I want to help agents understand that this is real. You know, we're not just saying it for fun. Like, this is truly there. And there are thousands of insurance agents in the world, right? There's many companies out there. But if we're here and we're doing what we're doing, I would highly recommend you give it an opportunity. Take that step, take that leap, get out there and do it. My brother, thank you so much. You know, obviously I got Mike. You might not be my favorite bald head, but you're by far my favorite beard. By far.
I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get.
Thanks, hey, man, brother. Appreciate you so much, dude.
Yeah,
we'll do this again. This was episode 3 of the MP Bro.
Thanks for having me, bro.
The MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bro, the MP Bros. Learn something.